folks, this is Matt Williamson, MXMatt, here for Hardline MX, BlockPass number 10. Motocross is where the mud is. 2021 Supercross recap, Jordan Supercross round 2, Spring Creek Donnie Schmidt Memorial Race round number 3. Alright folks, awesome to be back here. It's been a long time since I've had time to do a BlockPass, and quite honestly haven't been able to due to my day job's work schedule and honestly some of the more recent COVID protocols that I'll go into in a bit here. First off, I got to say a huge thanks to Casey Hultgren for doing just a rock solid effort of keeping Hardline MX going. I'd like to think of him as a business partner and partner in crime for running this site. So Hardline is not my site, it is our site. So Casey has just been knocking out of the park. One thing that's happened is he's moved from far north, Mountain Iron, Minnesota, down to, I want to say, Forest Lake area, which makes it a lot closer, a lot easier for us to get together and collaborate. But unfortunately, we haven't been able to do that. Just work schedules, and his schedule has made it almost impossible. But what he's been doing is just been amazing. He's got such a huge reputation in the world of snowcross. I made a name for himself and even for Hardline MX in ways that I can never thank him for enough. And with that, we're going to be starting to work on transitioning Hardline MX from just Hardline MX to more of a power sports piece. So we've bought a couple of different domains and URLs. We're kind of figuring out how we're going to do the revamp and figure out logos and all that stuff. But that's something Casey and I will be working on in the background, and we're pretty excited about the changes. So again, huge thanks to Casey. He's been doing some freaking awesome work. You gotta be sure to be following him. Link down below in the lower third, and we'll put links in the YouTube channel to his work and his main page. So let's kind of dive back in. So main thing I've had a time away with is covering Supercross. I did 10 rounds of the 2021 Monster Energy Supercross this year. Awesome time, but it was a weird year. Not any fault to Feld. We had to, as a community, as an industry, kind of back off some of the things we like to do as far as interviews, like fully open pits where we could go into the trucks and do interviews and stuff like that, talk to the riders. And we had to kind of maintain what they call a pod structure. Those of you that are not familiar, if you've been watching other types of sports, it's basically kind of keeping groups separated and keeping people from basically exposing each other to pathogens, whether it be COVID-19 or not, and just kind of keeping things a little bit safer. So with that, it prevented me from actually doing any other coverage. I really would have liked to have done some of the winter series at Cedar Lake Arena, would have loved to have done Freestone and a couple other events, but because I was credentialed and had a hard card for Supercross, in order for me to maintain that credential, I could not do those types of coverage. And again, I can't blame Feld for that. That was a stipulation that they had to meet to actually have Supercross, and everyone that was involved with it, including riders, had to adhere to it. So that's why you would only see the slightest bits of media done by people that are already in those pods during the off season, or I guess during the time off, for different motocross teams. And those of us that followed the series and had credentials for Supercross, we were prevented, rightfully so, from being able to do that type of coverage. So that's over now. We are now into later on to 2021, and it's going to be nice to kind of see how things work out for the series. So my first thing back was Jordan Supercross. Had an awesome time. Spent some time with Cody Slark, and here's a little clip of him and kind of a preview we posted for the Motokazie round 2 for the 2021 series. Hey folks, Matt Williamson, Hardline MX here with Cody Slark of Motokazie fame. We're here at round number 2 of the Jordan Supercross series for 2021. So tell us, Cody, what can we expect today with actually, you've been blessed with some pretty dang good weather today.
Yeah, no, we got 1.5 inches of rain about 5:45 this morning. It's about 4 o'clock right now, and the sun's shining, the wind's blowing, it's drying the track out really good, and we couldn't have asked for better weather to dry the track out today.
So what can people expect coming down here? Obviously, like every business last year, I had to adapt to the pandemic. This year, coming into the gate, I gotta say it's a little bit different. What can people expect that haven't made, that were like me and didn't make the first round?
What you can expect this year is, well, Minnesota did open up their outdoor activities and sports and stuff. So we do have full open. Everybody can come, hang out, watch. It's an awesome Friday night experience of family-friendly racing, and it's just a fun all-around atmosphere on a Friday night.
Awesome. Well, thanks, man. I know you got to get back to the track. Good job today, and as always, best of luck tonight. Thank
you. I appreciate it.
So yeah, as you can probably tell from that clip and the title of the show, mud was a factor. And quite honestly, the team at Motokazie did an awesome job. I could not believe the turnout there. Now, originally, when we were doing the footage to put that clip together, we were actually concerned. There was really not that many spectators, not that many riders, or really that much attendance, but the time was ticking. You know, these races are held on Friday nights, and people have to basically do their day jobs to pay for racing and try to make these races. And man, the turnout, as we were getting closer and closer to the 5 o'clock mark or the 5:30 when practice started, the pits filled up almost to the point where I was concerned that there was going to be no spaces left. And quite honestly, the race action that ensued afterwards was amazing. In fact, we might have gotten in the slightest bit of trouble that round because we were well outside of the allotted time frame. I think they're supposed to be done racing at 10 or 10:30. We were half hour, 45 minutes past that, and you know there was really nothing we could do. We don't want to like stop the kids from racing. We didn't really want to reduce laps, and overall it was an awesome night. I can only say that the team here does just an epic job of keeping the track safe. There were no like major medical issues. The track held up really well. Riders changed their lines and styles accordingly, and it made for a great night of racing. And why don't we just take a look at some of it right now? So yeah, that's a sample, one of our famous raw clips, which I think Casey is one of those guys that started that, of some of the race action at Jordan. And man, like if you haven't never made it down to a Motokazie Friday night race in Jordan, I strongly suggest you do that, especially if you're traveling from the north or even anywhere else in the Twin Cities area and you're going to hit Spring Creek on a Saturday, Sunday to do a southern race. Even if you're traveling north to hit Mora from the south side, stop there on Friday night. You can probably try to find arrangements to camp outside somewhere or even at a Walmart. I think it's worth the time to do that because this type of racing is different. It's not directly district oriented. It's a different type of program, and you're going to be racing with different kids and different classifications, stuff like that. And despite some complaints that some people might have, I think this is a good riding style to kind of learn. And there's nothing that really beats like a Friday night under the lights and just getting some good time with friends and family. I mean, that's what the sport's about, right? So anyway, coming up this last weekend, I just actually yesterday just came back from Spring Creek for their Donnie Schmidt Memorial Race, and this actually was their third round of their 2021 Super Series. Now, again, those that know Millville, you're pretty sure you're going to see a couple of mud races a year, and unfortunately, this was one of them. I don't understand what's going on with the National Weather Service and stuff like that, but the forecast everywhere that most of us looked, including people, the Martins down the the track, was that Sunday was going to be the pretty awesome day. Scattered clouds, maybe a late afternoon shower. No, it rained the whole day. In fact, it rained starting in the morning to the point where they had to delay practice or sight laps 1 full hour, which kind of compresses the day and makes it a lot harder. But I tell you what, the track conditions, despite the rain, actually were, I would say, relatively decent. Yes, there was slop on the sides. Yes, there was mud. Yes, there was roost. They had to cut some of the hills out and stuff like that. But they were still able to run, I think, a pretty good program. And, there's a lot of criticism for promoters, when they do stuff like Martins just had to do. So in effect, we ended up dropping one lap for each moto, and there's a bit more track work, especially before littler bikes like the 65s and 85s went out. We had to, the track crew had to take more breaks to prep the track and kind of get crews ready, extra people ready to help pick up bikes and help other riders and such. And I didn't see a single medical the entire day. Yes, people crashed. Yes, people went off, and there were a few mud baths and stuff like that. But it was a pretty darn good day of racing. So yeah, honestly, looking back, I thought race action was pretty darn good. We had a good day overall. The day ended up finishing a little bit early because they only got to do first motos, and rightfully so. The rain was continuing. It was getting far more sloppy out there, and the last moto was 65 cc class, and I think we were done at around 2 p.m. with just first motos by the time everything was completed, and it was a great weekend. So what's next? Well, for me, I am honored to be working again with MX Performance Magazine, and I will be with Hard Card this year again for the Outdoor Motocross Series. So what that means for me, along with my regular travel for work, I'm going to be out and about quite a bit more than normal. And starting this coming weekend at Thunder Valley will be the first round of pro motocross I'm going to be hitting. And I'm looking forward to hitting some new tracks I've never been to. I've never actually got the chance to shoot at Washougal. Some different events have made that possible. I'm considering some of the other rounds on the East Coast, kind of bordering the Millville Regional, and obviously wanting to cover Loretta Lynn's this year. That's always a goal. So it's going to be a pretty busy summer for me, and I'm hoping that I can continue to contribute with Casey Hultgren with Hardline MX. But my goal this coming weekend is actually to do a trackside press day and maybe kind of recap of Thunder Valley. One of the things I got to figure out still is what type of footage I can use, if I'm going to be permitted to use some clips from the pits and podiums and stuff like that I would normally get for MXP Magazine for Hardline MX. I'm there on my own dime. I do get a little bit of a stipend for covering it for the third parties and stuff like that, but you know what? If I'm there on my own, I want to try to get some of the coverage that I think District 23 in our area deserves of some of our riders. I know there's a few people. I know I'm going to have to, unfortunately, deal with Zach and Ann Williams out there. I mean, it was hard last year, but looking forward to it again this year. And we're going to kind of get some, hopefully get some good coverage. So definitely keep tuned. Thanks for watching. And as always, got to thank District 23 and a lot of our local sponsors, including Black Diamond MX, Economy Muffler, Motokazie, and actually Spring Creeks themselves have been helping us out a lot. And Plainview Power Sports hooked us up with some good pricing on, for me, a pit vehicle I run around and stuff like that. So we got some good support. Would love to get some more sponsors, but let's hopefully get some good momentum and get a good series going. So until then, be safe, everyone.